Diablo 2 HD remaster. Yeah, buddy. Activision published it, bro.
This meal is so unfinished. EA tried to publish it.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Welcome to the floor, Rambo. I didn't think you were gonna be here right away. I thought you'd
What's
be
up?
like, how are you feeling?
The floor.
I'm actually feeling okay right now.
So
I'm
Donald
actually
Trump
having-
will be the first president to have ever received a stone cold stoner.
And he'll be the first president
This
to
is
actually ever be a president without actually holding any kind of office
Herbert
or
Hoover.
serving in the military.
Negative. I believe Nixon also didn't do any of that either. He was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
So he's second.
actually have that WrestleMania on DVD if anyone's interested.
I've
He
just
also
actually been having
appeared as a guest star on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I've been having a hell of a lot of fun on Twitter and Facebook today. So
Yes.
Ron Perlman has announced his candidacy for president for 2020.
who?
Ron Perlman.
Oh, nice.
Welcome
Thought
everybody. to
Kanye
the
West
stream.
did that too.
Welcome everybody to the stream. I know episode 28 got deleted, and that's because of the processing problems that YouTube was having over this week. So I do apologize for those of you that didn't get to watch that vlog.
It was
But
conspiracy.
this shall go by much better. So thank you guys for coming by, checking out the stream, and hello to everybody that's saying hello to us. So Trump 2016, baby.
Yes.
Yes.
It
Yes
is
on
official.
everything. Okay, if you guys don't know, I know some of you guys were actually in our Discord chat the other night when this was going down. We were beside ourselves. We were celebrating. I was drinking a bottle and a half of wine. It was funny. Like seriously, it was funny. Like
It was
We were playing Battlefield in case Hillary won, so we were fresh on our reflexes and gunplay.
I was, what was I playing? I was playing a little bit of DayZ, mucking around in that. I think I died of cholera for no reason. No, that was 2 days ago. Okay, never mind. That means, well, I said I died of cholera for no reason. I died because of the cholera. I don't know how I
We
got
should have been
cholera.
playing like Daisy, so we learn how to survive with nothing.
No,
in
we
case
played on
Hillary won.
Overwatch. We played on Overwatch. We were all Maze, building walls, and Reinhardt.
Yep.
That was right. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
We were learning how to erect a wall in the less than 24 hours type span, so that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. So, honestly, though, you were bringing this up earlier, Rag, something about, what was it? The media was going to be talking about the real stuff now, right?
Yeah, Dave Rubin said that the media is now going to tell you about all the terrible, horrible things that are going to happen because of something that they said would never happen.
Well, they're basically the media's already started saying that the election was white lashed. It was.
Oh yeah.
This was
And-
a racist movement. I'm like going, it was rigged. I'm like going, okay, first of all, if it was rigged, why the hell would the establishment rig it for the candidate that they don't like?
Now what's interesting though is that there is a lot of pictures on the internet talking about how, the reason that he won was because people kept calling anyone who wanted to support him racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. How people were sick of all this politically correct bullshit. How every Halloween costume was appropriation and everything was triggering, and you need to save spaces. It's like all you people are the reason Donald Trump won.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. There was a tag or something. I think it was a Rambo. You tagged me in that person's tweet about
Yes.
political correctness. I have to say this, this person, she was saying, political correctness didn't create Trump. Hate mongering, racism created Trump.
And that's
Political correctness will correct everything. I'm like, what? Like, what?
Well,
No.
Has anyone done anything like interesting? Has anything good happened to you since Trump won?
yeah, actually.
Yeah, I lost a lot of
me
idiotic
too.
friends.
Putin said he was willing to completely restore relations with the United States.
Yes, that was
No,
actually
I
a really
mean to
good
you personally.
I don't personally have to go to war.
Okay. Well, since Trump has won, I won $5 off a lotto ticket.
Hooray!
I've lost about 4 friends, but
Praise the God Emperor.
that shows you how good of friends they were.
Mhm.
And let's see. Wait, there was one other thing that happened.
Yeah, work was a salt mine today. Oh boy, I was like the only person at work who was pro-Trump. Well, I'll say this: I was the only one who would admit they were pro-Trump.
Yep.
Because as we learned, there were a lot of people who, when they finally were in the privacy of a polling booth, they voted for who they really wanted.
And I did tweet all these celebrities, or not all of them, a good chunk of them, that said they were going to leave the country if Trump won, and said, "We're waiting. When are you packing your bags?"
Yeah, like Amy
So-
Schumer and stuff. On Imgur, someone on the front page, someone had brought up how Amy Schumer said she was moving to Canada and Trump won. And the top comment, and the fourth best comment of that day was, "Fuck off, we don't want you."
Yeah.
Oh, Darth Jinja says he got a BJ. That comes later for me, so you can count that for me.
All right.
Harambe got 15,000 votes for presidency.
That
a bunch
is
of
amazing.
grown-ass men and women got out of bed, got dressed, drove to a polling station, and voted for Harambe.
Amazing. And
Let me
even
tell you something.
and about another 100 or so wrote in Mitt Romney out of California.
What should actually tell all that Hillary is that she ran against Obama, for the Democratic nomination. The people didn't want her. Overwhelmingly supported Obama for some reason. Maybe back then it was, I guess, the lesser of two evils. Now she ran for presidency, and the people still didn't want her. She's finally out of politics altogether. We finally have got rid the government of the Clintons.
There was an article I saw online about how the Democratic Party, they're leaderless and directionless right
They
now.
are.
Who
They
do they
are.
have? Who is going to step up as their person? I mean, they don't have the House, they don't have the Senate, they don't have the presidency, but really
They don't have the Supreme Court
Repub-
either.
The Republicans have the presidency. They need to get their shit together. And I think what this is showing is that I was telling someone at work that Republican and Democrat doesn't mean really anything anymore. It's authoritarian, libertarian, and it's
No,
all
I look at it
liberal,
as more as socialist and liberal.
socialist and liberal.
Yeah, liberal being the Republicans, socialist being the Democrats.
I don't think the Republicans classifying the Republicans as liberal would be.
They're more liberal than they are far. I mean, there's that sect that's that far alt right, but I mean, as far as the majority of them, like even Trump, he's
I don't
more of a liberal than he is a Republican.
I wouldn't put the Republicans and alt right together.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because back in the day you would have. If you looked at
They're,
the old,
they're a sect of the.
if you
They're
looked
a
at
sect of the Republican Party.
right. Well, if you looked at the old identifiers, at the way things were done, you would put them together. But like even nowadays, a Republican isn't necessarily the same as it was, say, 10 years ago. Same as a Democrat. It's gotten so convoluted with what people want, with their ideals. The whole 9 yards has been switched around so much. It's really hard to know which is left and which is right nowadays. Find it interesting, actually, that a Republican nowadays is pretty much what a libertarian is versus where it was, say, 20 years ago, which carried more democratic beliefs than you would believe. So it's really weird. It's kind of like strange how this has all worked out. Rags, you, me, Shane, and everybody in this call not last night, but the night before last, or I guess it was last night. We were watching that map, dude. We were seeing states that were being taken by the Republican Party that haven't been taken in decades.
Since
Since
Reagan.
the 80s.
Since Reagan.
New Hampshire.
I mean,
Wisconsin
Pennsylvania.
hasn't gone red since Reagan.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, you guys. I mean, Arizona is now considered a swing state, which is the first time that's ever happened in my life. I'm from this state. I've never seen this before. This just shows that people were literally sick and tired of the bullshit.
We're tired of the establishment.
Well, California.
Honestly, I think it would have been a very, very, very close race had it been Bernie and
Trump? Oh, yeah.
Trump, because of the fact both of them were kind of preaching against the establishment.
Yeah.
California is such a blue state, dude, that people around me today have been like, the joke on Ted the movie where Ted's like, well, it's 9/11, I got to get high. Well, people around me have been like, well, Trump's president, I got to get high. Like, it's a
Well,
tragedy.
they legalized recreational marijuana is okay there now, and a lot of other states like
Not
Washington.
until the first of the year, though.
You will be. Are you gonna? You'll
Oregon,
actually be
California, Nevada,
in a very good position on that.
Massachusetts.
Well,
Our
I'm,
state.
I'm not going to live in California by the time that happens.
Oh, well,
I'm going to good old Arizona.
because they're gonna what they call it, Cal exit or something.
Kill exit. Oh yeah, that's right.
can we? Can we like get rid of them?
Yeah. If Mexico. Okay, here's the thing.
I'm okay
if,
with them.
If everybody votes for Mexico to go backwards on their original treaties with us, then yes, the entire land would be gone. It would go right back to Mexico.
California has $443 billion of debt.
I like where
Wow.
I like where you're going with this. Let's do it.
I mean, goddamn.
Well, at least wait till tax time next year when I move. Don't get rid of it yet. I don't want to be a Mexican.
Someone just went racist.
No, it's not racist.
Mexican's a nationality. He's a bigot.
I will be Hispanic all day long, but
See,
I
that's
don't
the-
want the same rights that Mexicans have from Mexico. I'm not
That's
being
it.
racist.
That's interesting that you just said that. I was actually having a conversation with somebody on Twitter,
Oh,
or
God,
on
no.
Twitter, on Facebook, and they actually said that he goes, I suppose you're against like, illegal immigration and like the Syrian refugees. I'm like, yeah, they don't need to come over here. I said if they're men, they need to stay there and fight for their country, not run over here to America.
Absolutely.
And he said, so you're a racist, and I was like,
Yeah,
man,
that's
first
totally
of all, I said Muslims is not a race. That's a religion. It's an ideology. So therefore, you cannot equate that to racism. I said, secondly, I said we're talking about a sect of these people, talking about refugees and stuff like that. We're not talking about an entire populace. But he tried to throw up the definition of ethnicity. Like an ethnic group is a people, that identify with whatever, a specific area, region or whatever. I was like, still, that's an ethnic group. You cannot be racist against ethnicity because ethnicity has nothing to do with race. It's like,
Yeah.
why do these people equate
It's
two
like
together?
It's a cultural tradition. It's a national, a common nationality or a cultural tradition. It has nothing to do with race.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. If he was gonna say anything, he could have at least called it cultural racism. If he
You could,
wanted
or
to-
no, you could have just called me a bigot. That's what it would be.
or a bigot. Yeah.
I mean, because there's still no such thing as even cultural racism. I mean, that's like adding definitions to console exclusive.
I can play it on PC, but it's still a console exclusive.
Yeah, that's like adding. You can't add adjectives to those words. Those are
Like social justice.
Yeah, it's just justice.
I'd like to thank all the SJWs for delivering Trump into the White House.
I just want to say thank you, Obama, for
Thanks, Obama.
doing the first, his first term, being hated by everybody, doing everything right, and then sort of, towards the end, he was like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and just fall in line with what everybody else wants in the Senate floor.
It's like, oh, they don't want all this stuff. Oh well.
And the LGBTQ community is freaking out.
I don't know why.
Well,
Yeah,
because
I'm a
he
little
said-
more
confused.
against
I'm
gays than them.
confused.
because he said that he will actually overturn the Marriage Equality Act.
What's up, Demon Ralph?
But he also said by saying that he will actually put it back to the state's issues because
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
state
state thing
issue,
with him.
not a federal government.
Yeah,
I
it's a
agree
state-
with that. I agree with that. Like,
same thing-
dude, I got gay
exact same
friends
thing
that
with
agree with
abortion.
that. Yeah, I got gay friends and lesbian friends that both agree with that. Out of all my gay and lesbian friends, only like one or two have had issues with it. I said, but you got to remember, most state senators, most representatives are more progressive than you're giving them credit for. So if they go back and they take it
Not
back to
ours.
the senators, if they take it back to the states, more than likely the states will not overturn it.
Let's put it this way. Our state, Oklahoma here, actually had a state question to actually override our state constitution to allow the Ten Commandments to be a monument of the Ten Commandments to be placed on Capitol grounds.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
No.
And we were overwhelmingly said nope, because first of all they had it up there first. They went ahead and put it up there because they said they interpreted the law to say that as long as it was not publicly or state funded. The monument was not state funded that it could go there, and so the Supreme Court here in Oklahoma said no, sorry, it can't be on state grounds at all. And then that actually sparked the Satanist and the Muslims, everybody was going to actually put up monuments there, and they were actually blocking it, saying that they didn't want that there. And I'm like, going, you're opening the door to the religion. I mean, that's what you did. You opened this door, so now you have to deal with it. And that's what they were. The state question was actually to allow to overturn that decision, overturn the amendment, and actually make it to where even the other religions couldn't even put up a monument. It was only going to be the Ten Commandments allowed.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like,
the first
you
four
gotta be kidding
commandments
me.
don't have anything to do with morality anyway. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense to have 10 commandments in front of any public or state building. I mean, how could you have a state building and put up commandments when the first commandment is "Thou shalt have no other gods before me"? Like, what the fuck? And then the second commandment, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image." Like, what is this doing in front of a state building? Oh, well, because the fourth commandment is remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Like, well, no, fuck off.
And not to,
Rambo, your buddy's here.
Not to mention that they also actually believe in the death penalty, of course. And then one of the things is "Thou shalt not murder" or "Thou shalt not kill." So it kind of goes against their whole process as well too. So it's like, I don't know. I was just kind of floored that, I mean, as far as Oklahoma overturning anything like that, saying that, yeah, gay marriage is okay, no, that ain't never happening.
Well, a lot of the variations of it are "Thou shalt not murder," but it's weird though when you read the story, because Moses brings the commandments down from the mountain. Number 6 is "Thou shalt not kill," and God's like, they got a golden calf. Look at what the fuck I'm about to do, right?
So, have you guys seen the meme yet of Sheldon Cooper standing next to Obama going, "Hey, you're in Trump's spot"?
Yep. Yeah,
Or
sure.
the end of Obama's speech where he goes, "I only got 2 things left to say, Obama out," and he straight up drops the mic and just walks off stage.
There's one meme that actually shows Hillary Clinton like in this weird state or whatever, like when she had this weird look, and it says, "Now Hillary Clinton knows what it feels like to be aborted right before delivery."
That's fucked up.
Well, that's what she wanted. That's what she was.
I know, right? It's so fucked up.
And another thing is that there was one that actually, I shared them. It was all funny that Chelsea Clinton is so ugly that getting a blowjob from her is like considered anal. Considered anal, yeah.
Nice.
There was a joke on Twitter I saw. Someone said Donald Trump's the president, and the first thing he does is kick a black family out of their home.
There was a meme that I read this morning.
Oh, the memes are gonna be perfect.
Oh, they were funny. I read
the
this one
memes must
tonight
flow.
where it has the Obama picture that he's all. So, once you go black, and with Obama leaving, with a white man coming in, shows that you do go back. I was like, damn.
The ones with him and Biden are really good. Biden has a lot of good memes because he's just like this clueless dumb guy, and it's always
Biden's a fucking idiot, man.
He is, but the memes that he's made almost make it.
Oh
worse.
yeah, they make it. I'm kind
Oh,
of
God, the memes. I mean, all
glad
the
that actually
epic
he
memes
was.
I've seen the last day. Oh my God.
Oh, the memes are
epic
actually getting
memes.
just better
The
now
memes
that
are amazing.
now the election is over. It's like the memes are going to be outrageous.
No, Facebook today, I don't know about for you guys, but for me, Facebook today has been the biggest cesspool it's been.
Oh, I've been
Like-
blocked. I've been kicked off people's page, completely out of groups and stuff because simply they found out that I supported Trump.
I mean, there were people that were basically leaving suicide notes without saying that they're going to kill themselves. Just like, like the end of the world is here. I'm leaving America. If you guys never hear from me again, I love all my friends and family. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? I mean,
The best one was actually where it says Trump has better coverage than Verizon. Can you hear us now? And it shows the map, and the blue, the red is just like overpowering the blue, and that's
No.
actually the electoral map that actually happened. So that right there just shows.
Here is something interesting. There's going to be a lot of talk. There's always talk every election about the Electoral College and how terrible it is, right? But do remember this about the Electoral College. First off, there's something called the tyranny of the majority, and you always have heard the phrase that democracy is more than two wolves and a sheep voting over what's for dinner. If you go to California, for instance, the California votes were obviously Hillary, right? Hillary got 5.5 million votes. The population of my entire state is 3.5 million. Obviously, that's men, women, children, old, young, everybody. Not just people who vote. Everyone in our state's about 3.5 million, I think. Let me check though. It's been a while. It's Arkansas. Who gives a shit about Arkansas population? Arkansas population.
Rambo, do you like nuts?
No, I like nuts.
Exposing fuckboys wants to know.
Oh no, I don't actually.
Oh, it's not even 3 million. Okay,
I won't
we're
eat
at 3
anything.
million.
I won't even eat a Snicker bar because it has nuts in it.
So Arkansas's
There you go,
population
exposing
is
fuckboys.
3 million. So that means that Trump got 3 million. So the people who voted for Donald Trump in California, which lost for Trump, is the population of my entire state. And those are just the people in California who voted for Donald Trump, right?
That is the reason for the Electoral College.
That's the reason for the Electoral College. Because if it was literally nothing but popular vote, then
The only
top
states that
the only states would matter are California, New York, Florida. I mean, there would
Yeah.
be no reason to pay attention to the bottom 40 states.
nope, they wouldn't even wait for those election results to even come in. They would just wait for those 4 states, and that would be it.
Exactly.
Your vote would no longer matter.
I'm not saying it's the best system, but I'm saying that there is a reason for it.
I still believe it needs to be reworked.
It does need to be
Absolutely,
reworked. It definitely make it to where like California, those large states like that, California, Florida, Pennsylvania, where they don't have such a weighted number.
In the population of California and how big it is, I mean, you would have states. Yeah, I mean, you would have the top 10 states deciding it for the other 40.
Yeah,
I actually had a theory about that years ago, and that's just to see which party wins each state. I mean, because there's 50 states, and if it's ends up being a tie at the end where each party has won 25 states, then like the House can vote, and whatever the popular vote is there is a tiebreaker.
And California has 55 electoral votes. So like a fourth of Hillary's entire electoral college was California.
yeah. Somebody actually said there that California needs to be split, and that's what, because look at Maine. Maine and Nebraska both have 2 different districts. They have their electoral votes, even though they're like 4 on one and I think 3 on the other, actually are split.
And that would probably be good with California,
yeah,
because Northern California is actually red.
Yes, it actually just needs to be split to where it actually is a fair chance for everybody's voice in California to be heard.
Yeah, I mean, there are counties in California that are way bigger than many states, that are bigger than some countries.
Yes.
So I would say there's a reason for it. All right, and you could talk about blah blah blah, and plus the popular vote was only like 0.1% in favor of Hillary.
And somebody said there are more Democrats in America than Republicans. No, it's not. It's not necessarily that there's more Democrats in America than the Republicans. There's Democrats have spoke to their message more than what Republicans have.
And what does it matter? Political parties in general are stupid.
I mean, like when it comes to these people, they like you hear everybody that hears Republican automatically thinks money. That's all they care about is money. They're rich. They don't really care about me, my issues. The Democrats always preach about we care about the little guy. We care about the little guy. Yet you can ask anybody in the last 8 years, what has Obama done for you as far as being the little guy? Not a single one of them can actually tell you anything good. None of them actually care about the little guy, except that's just what they identify with. So that's the reason why you see so much. So many people supporting.
They care about the little guy, but that little guy has to be fucking broke and unable to pay for themselves.
And they can't be white.
Well, they just care about your vote. Once they get your vote, give a shit less, man.
Well,
They don't really.
it's like what we talked about in politics before, Rambo. Like at the beginning of the year, like look at what's going on right now. Trump brought up inner city situations that nobody else brings up. People that are literally built on dependencies because of the Democratic Party. They sit there and
Yes.
they tell people, oh, well, this place needs help. This place needs help. So what do? They grant them access. They grant them SNAP. They grant them government aids and funding or whatever they need, and they walk away. That's what they do. They walk away. They don't
See you
make
in
sure.
4 years.
Yep, exactly. This isn't helping anybody. This isn't empowering anybody. This is just making sure somebody has a temporary fix in their life without teaching them anything.
And that's exactly what I've been trying to tell people on my Facebook and stuff forever is like that they like just name me one thing that Obama. Everybody claimed him as being the next Messiah. You know, they even held him up and made memes of him being the Messiah.
Yeah.
What has he done? What has he done for you? What has he done for you being below average in income?
I have asked people that on Twitter. I've asked Hillary's been in
They
politics for
can't.
30 years, so name 2 laws that she's passed that you like or that have helped you or that have helped blacks, and no one ever seems to give you an answer. Maybe there are things, but no one is answering me. No one is telling me.
No, and I what I understand
Nobody
is like
will
this.
tell you anything either. That's the fucking problem. They like
Oh, no,
literally put their heads in the sand and they ignore you like you've never asked the question.
Oh no, yeah. Well, no, I had several conversations today regarding people just automatically coming out saying that Trump's a racist. Anybody who voted for him is racist. And so I asked him. I said, please tell me what has he said that is racist. Just tell
That's
me.
always
give me
people
any-
just say, oh, it's
I'm-
everything. It's like,
I-
oh, it's
it-
I
just
was like,
Rambo,
did you not hear what he said about Mexicans? I said he didn't say shit about Mexicans. He said shit about illegal aliens.
Rambo,
Granted-
I'm glad you said that because I'm currently going through that right now with one of my friends on Facebook, dude. It's the same exact topic. He asked me, why is it that we would vote for someone who is so racist? And I said, where is he racist at? And then he decides he's going to try to swift boat the conversation and he asks me, name me 5 things that Trump offers that will change your life. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I will give you 7 of those things if you will finally answer my question as to how he's racist. I'm still waiting on that answer, by the way.
You're never going to get it because the only thing they can do is say what he said about Mexicans. Well, he didn't say anything about Mexicans. He said everything about illegal immigrants. He said he
which
didn't
of
even
the
say.
2 candidates
he never
went to go
said-
visit the Mexican president.
Trump.
It
I
wasn't
do. I
Clinton.
guess that what Donald Trump should have said hashtag not all because
Yeah, hashtag not all.
that apparently is. I mean, because he was referring to illegal immigrants and then he said what he said. Granted, he probably could, like I said, he probably could have worded it better to where people understand a little bit more. But at the same time, is that nobody should actually automatically assume he was referring to every single person.
Obviously.
That's what they do with me. I mean, like if I mention like women or whatever, you just degraded the whole every woman. I'm like, no, I degraded one damn person, one. It's like she's not a representative of the women, womankind. Quit like equating everybody to a single person or a single conversation.
But you're right, though. That's exactly what the problem with this entire situation is. From all sides, people are sitting there over dramatizing the situation, blowing it up into what be a bigger thing than it really is, and throwing people under the bus that identify as a common situation or thing. So, and in this particular election, I noticed that in a big way. It went from, if you were white, you were the devil. If you're a Republican, you were the fucking devil. If you were a Democrat, you were a devil. If you're a liberal, you're a devil. There was no winners in this election when it came to each other. Like, everybody was at each other's throats. I was, like I said on Facebook, I got attacked by so many people that called me friend and family. I got fucking put down by people closest to me. I got blocked and deleted by family members because they were too fucking stupid to go out and research the shit themselves. I mean, my number one thing when I tell my family and friends is, look, you have a fucking computer. You have a smartphone. Google everything.
Use the damn thing.
Use the shit. Jesus Christ,
It's
stop. Oh, well, Fox News
Genuinely
said.
depressing.
Huh?
Somebody posted.
It's genuinely depressing how many people have absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Against Trump.
Yeah. There was actually somebody who posted a picture today on their Facebook Of course, I mean, I was just waiting for these stupid ass things to show up, but it's the I think UC Berkeley or UC, I mean, one college student or something like that. The college students that were actually protesting Trump's presidency by burning the American flag and chanting "You're not my president," all that shit. Well, they showed the picture, of the people that did it, and they were white, and this guy's black or of color. I don't know if he's actually black. He could be, some other race. I don't know, but he's just dark skinned. And he was like, "Well, I wonder what would happen if this was black people. These people would be calling for their heads and everything else, but they're not saying much about this." And I said, "Bullshit." I said, "There have been several instances where there's black people burning the American flag. There's been several stories written on them. Not a single one of them damn stories mentions the color of their skin. They only mention the action that they're doing." I said, show me any story, show me anywhere where a story actually is talking about burning of the American flag and it mentions the color of their skin, and I'll concede that that would be a different outcome based on the color of their skin. I will say, yes, you were right. And I got called by him, his cousin, which is a female, whatever. I got called. I was being arrogant, a racist, a homophobe. I mean, all these different adjectives that I could not possibly be, based on the fact, and disrespectful, based on the fact that I had an opposing view. I challenged his belief or his words that he used. I challenged it, so therefore I became all these things. And I'm like, going, how does, I said, I didn't know actually having a different opinion these days was classified you as a racist or disrespectful or a misogynist or anything like that. It's like,
of course.
I was like, y'all all need safe spaces, and this is the product. Donald Trump is the product of safe spaces.
Exactly.
And now the entire country is no longer a safe space.
So and
I'm glad.
So here's one of the 5, and there's plenty more that he wants to do. He did more than just 5. Okay. So this is number 5. This is the biggest one. This is about the lobbyists, right? He says a lifetime ban on White House officials lobbying on behalf of a foreign government.
God.
This is one of the biggest fucking issues in our country. This is one of the number one issues that has caused so much turmoil and so much dividing amongst us in the last 10 years, is because we have foreign nationals coming into our fucking country and buying out all these politicians and making sure that they pass back alley bills without nobody knowing about it. This right here will fix that. That's just one. And people are saying Trump will not do any of these things. Look, if he doesn't do any of these things, will I be disappointed? Yes. But fuck, at least he's addressing this shit.
He's acknowledging there's a problem.
Exactly. Obama didn't do that in his first term. Only thing he did in his first term.
Nobody has.
Yeah, his first term, what Obama addressed was the health care reform, and he addressed weed. That was it. Weed and healthcare reform. He said, "Oh yeah, let's talk about immigration. Let's go ahead and start nailing some immigration things. Oh, let's give them all amnesty."
Yes, they didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about immigration. He basically said, "Hey, guess what? All the people that came in here illegally, call all your family and get them over here too, because we're about to make all of y'all legal."
Right.
He just gave them a blank check to come over here to do whatever. That is asinine. He didn't even actually ask Congress for permission.
And here's one thing, and this is attacking the federal government. He says on third, a requirement that for every new federal regulation, 2 existing regulations must be eliminated. So they literally have to be strategic from here on out with how they pass regulations on the federal level, which means the federal law will no longer rule this fucking country. That's also a huge fucking thing in this nation.
That needs to be happening, should have been happening all along. The federal government has gotten way too big.
And it says, second, a hiring freeze on all federal employees to reduce federal workforce through attrition, exempting military, public safety, and public health. That is something that I wish we would have had these regulations before. I can't believe that no president up until now, except Kennedy, had come up with this kind of strategy. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, how is it Obama didn't even think about the federal government? How did that not even cross his mind when most of his voters were saying, hey, we need to do something about that monster?
And
Because
that was one of the reasons why
they
I
benefited from
voted
it.
with Bernie.
No, because he was actually going to create more federal regulations.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
More-
His whole platform was basically government is super corrupt, so let's make it bigger.
Exactly.
Oh, there was a guy. His name is Jack Davis. He's on my Facebook. He's actually I met him in one of these Facebook gaming groups, and I posted the Trump thing, and he's from Australia, and he was talking about how we're fucked. The world's fucked because Trump got elected. Yada yada yada. I was like, please tell
Right,
me
same
how.
shit.
Just explain to me how. How are we fucked? Well, because he's a racist. The typical, rhetoric that people hear, based on the fact the media. And I was like, so you're just spewing shit that you know nothing about. So again, I mean, if once you come to me with facts, I will gladly accept any factual information. There's no doubt about it. I will gladly accept it. If you can prove that he's a racist or prove anything like that, I'll accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't do that. And he was like, well, y'all are just, you Americans just act like y'all are the greatest country on earth, and you're not. And I said, please tell me. I said, please tell me who is better. Who
Like,
at this point in time,
but we're voting for us?
I was like, who's better than us at this time, and as far as countries go? He said Australia. And I said, you've really got to be joking at this point, don't you? I mean, like I said, because Australia, I said, y'all gave away your rights to protect yourself. I said, y'all gladly have given up to your government.
Let's not
You've
talk about
submitted.
let's not talk about the Islamic violence that took place out there with the Aborigines. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, it's insane that like people have been so conditioned these days to just accept the government as their master.
So,
And I don't understand like where this conditioning came, or like I understand where it came from. I don't understand how it was accepted so willingly.
It's easier than working.
his first, and this will be my last one. His first term, this is what he called his 100-day plan. Okay, this is the stuff that I'm reading from. Propose a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on all members of Congress.
That needed to happen. Probably back in the '80s, whenever Reagan took over.
That should have been done, and it hasn't. We have too many people that have been in fucking office. We got people that are out of office collecting a pension a mile long for the rest of their fucking lives.
You do realize that their pay doesn't drop. Like whenever they go into office, they get a pay, and then they don't have to pay taxes. They actually don't pay any Social Security. They get the health care. Of course, they get like the supreme health care. And whenever they leave office, they're guaranteed their salary for the rest of their life.
Well, when Obamacare got approved, guess who got the exemption?
Everybody in government.
Like what's good for the goose, right?
Yeah, I mean, why? I mean, why should they be allowed an exemption if we're not allowed an exemption?
That's one of the reasons that I brought it up all the time is that if you're voting for Hillary, you're just gonna it's you're one step closer to just a total all-out oligarchy.
So
yeah, I mean, at that point, you might as well. I mean, literally, they're getting to the point. I mean, they kept on making jokes about Trump being Hitler, and I would never say that like Hillary was going to be Hitler.
No,
but it was definitely going to be a ruler instead of a president at that point. If it was getting to that point with the Democratic Party to accept rule instead of govern. And that
yep.
That blows my mind that people are so willing to allow that to happen. It's scary.
A lot of things that we hear is that Trump's not for the environment whatsoever. He's not for the environment. Now, do I agree he said some stupid shit about it? Absolutely. Was he?
What did he say? Stupid.
Oh, he was saying that greenhouse gases doesn't really affect the atmosphere. I
don't believe in the global warming bullshit.
You should really look into that. Then there's research backing it up. There's scientific research.
Global warming is real.
It's a real thing. It is a very.
I don't believe it's a as much of a disaster as what they allude to.
I don't either.
Because
I don't
there's
think
actually science to show that there's actually more ice actually forming than actually not actually like, melting. So
But
if that was the case,
That's like saying, well, gosh, today's kind of cold. Global
well,
warming.
no, I mean, but no, I'm saying they're using it saying that the ice is melting. There's no new ice. You know, at this rate, we're gonna actually lose the. Well, I guess what is it? The
Have
northern.
you seen the Arctic lately? Have you seen those videos, the pictures yet? Like, that's pretty alarming, dude.
Yeah, but there's also there's
real-time.
also video evidence and everything that's showing where more ice is actually formed. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So-
right, I'm gonna have to see that then. Well, anyways, my whole thing with this last thing here is, he says on the 7th, it says, cancel billions in payments to UN climate change programs, and use the money to fix America's water and environmental infrastructure. I agree with that. That is some. Well, when somebody sits there and says Trump's anti this, anti that, this page is perfect because it lists everything that everybody cries wolf about. If they were to actually read this, over half of this is like literally a page from a libertarian's blog. Okay, like, it is crazy. This dude is trying to do the best he can, or I hope he does everything on this list. Honestly, I hope he does. Does it mean he's going to? More than likely not. I mean, Obama did the same thing back in his first year. If you guys remember, he had his side up. He had the whole thing saying this is a bullet point.
2 years where he had everything and
Still didn't get anything
shit.
done.
Yeah, he didn't do shit.
And then after that 2 years, then he started trying to do stuff and then complaining because he was getting blocked. And I was like, you had 2 free years. Like, why didn't you take advantage of that? I would have.
yeah, Republicans have the House and Senate, and I mean, Trump is actually fairly centrist, but I mean, he's still. I mean, he's probably. I mean, he's got what he can make stuff happen. So.
And I think he will be more than happy to get stuff done, because he's one of those. He's one of those guys that has such an ego that he has to get shit done. He has to
be right.
Exactly. He has to be right.
There's actually a article off of in the Huffington Post, I think it was, or Salon, trying to say that Trump is actually probably not going to get anything done that he actually wants to, besides the fact that the only thing he could possibly get done would be to repeal Obamacare. And I was like, I don't know how you figure this, because he's got a Senate and the Supreme Court. Everybody's loaded on his side, so he can actually get pretty much anything he wants done, as long as the wording is correct. The wording is not like too outlandish.
I wanna go ahead and answer Bertelmann's bill. He says, do y'all think Trump will have the right temperament to handle war? Absolutely. I have no doubt in Trump's ability.
He doesn't.
For war.
Yeah, he doesn't want war.
He doesn't want war. He actually is he actually has said that what his thing is he wants to stay out of other countries' business. We don't need to go over there and send our troops to other countries and get involved, which is 95% of our wars that we are in is related to something another country is in.
He's basically the first isolationist president we've had in a long time.
Yep.
So this whole thing about how he's just going to throw around nuclear bombs is absolutely ridiculous, and it flies in the face of the thing that he's said and everything he says. And people often do point to the fact that he said he would be willing to use nuclear weapons. And I said, well, of course that's what you're going to say. You're not going to have nuclear weapons and say, oh no, we'd never use those.
You're definitely not going to give the people of all the people that hate America like reason to think, well, hey, we can attack them. We have nothing to worry about.
The whole nuclear weapons are not the dangerous thing about nuclear weapons. It's the threat of the use of nuclear weapons.
That's the only that's the only actual reason why nuclear weapons are so effective, is just simply because of the fact that people don't know if you are going to use them.
And remember, the only time they've ever been used are when only one side's had them.
Yep. So there's a video. I'm gonna go ahead and post it in the general chat. You guys can take a look at it when you get it. This video is by Stephen Colbert. All right, I watch him. He's pretty funny.
Ah.
I've never agreed with him on his politics, not once.
Okay, I was gonna say he is like such a liberal.
I know, but watch this video and tell me you don't agree with it. There's a point in this video where he makes perfect sense. He talks about how politics is such an ugly thing, and how when you're always right, it comes to such a thing with you that it becomes like poison. It is
Yeah.
such a good video. I'm not kidding.
Oh, I think I actually that's his outro, right? His outro from the coverage of the election on Showtime.
I don't know, maybe.
I think so because I mean that sounds exactly like the same speech he gave on that too as well, and it was actually very uplifting and actually very truthful. I mean, it had a lot of truth behind
yeah,
it.
very truthful. Very truthful. We were sort of talking about this the other night too. Is I was saying, you know, when you set aside all the political stuff, you set aside all these things, you truly do forget what you have in common with your friends and your family. Sometimes you let their political agendas, you let their their political stances get in the way of what you remember about them, and that's when things get ugly, and that's when things get really, really bad. Something that I've experienced personally myself. I'm sure you guys have at some level to another. Rambo, I know you just admitted to going through it yourself. We've all kind of gone through some shit because we care, we're passionate about this stuff. I know we go on about Hillary or Killary, and I know we go on about how Trump is the man and all this other shit, but at the end of the day, it was our vote that got counted, and it was us going out to vote and taking part in this political stance, regardless of how ugly it got, is where we're at today, is because of that.
Colbert was part of the problem too. This entire time, I mean, when you spend all that, he's the exact reason why he won, because you have this guy coming up on stage in front of his massive audience and saying, if you vote for Trump, you're an idiot, you're a buffoon, you're a moron, you're all these things. And then he's sitting here trying to make sense of all of it. It's like, well, you're the one who did this. You're the one who was part of the problem. You spent all this time making fun of Trump. You spent all this time insulting him. You spent all this time insulting people who would vote for him. And now this is what it's caused. People just, eventually people get to the point where they don't want to be insulted by people as idiots because they don't follow your political stances.
Well, and it's like
so
I said,
thanks,
I
Steven.
think, I also think that he actually came to that realization in this video. He actually came to that realization. In fact, one would even say he kind of even feels bad for what has happened because he realizes that shit. I'm telling you, this is a good video. He actually, it's in his own way, he's pretty much owning up to his part in it. And that's
Good.
admirable.
You should.
That's admirable. I find that admirable.
One thing that people need to start doing, a lot of these people that are actually voting and upset or even happy, is they need to pay attention to politics more than just during the general election.
Yeah.
So much goes on between one president general election to the next that if you actually paid attention to all that, you might actually be a little bit more informed and be able to feel like you actually have a true, knowledge to make that accurate decision rather than based on what the media wants to give you. So many people just like as soon as the president is elected, they check out until the next time the general election happens, and that to me is a problem. I mean, it's always been like it's like these people aren't informed enough to be able to actually make a legitimate opinion or a legitimate choice based on what they've their little, I guess 3 months worth of commercial ads.
Yep, and millions of the taxpayer dollars spent.
Yeah.
You know what else is interesting is that Trump won 29% of the Latino vote.
Yeah, it was actually up. I think they said like almost 12% over Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Which is actually.
And I was I was explaining to some Latino chick I work with, she wasn't like upset. I don't think she voted for Trump. But she wasn't like upset and everything. And I was explaining that the reason he won so many of these Latino votes is because, I mean, people aren't dumb, and Latinos understand, and everybody understands that illegal immigration is an issue that it's not a racial issue. That as much as they want to push it as a racial issue, it's not. And the people who are the most adversely affected by illegal immigration are the working class and they are the people who need those jobs. So if you have a bunch of Latinos in the country, and then you have who are legal immigrants, why would they ever want to see more illegal immigrants? It has nothing to do with culture. It has nothing to do with race. Those illegal immigrants are going to take your jobs. That's the simple fact of the matter.
There's no, they have to.
They have to eat. They have to eat. They have to have a place to live. They have to have resources. And in a lot of places, government is giving them benefits that they are not paying for. And some places, I mean, they can vote. I mean, the guy who shot up 5 people at the Minnesota Mall, that ISIS guy, he voted twice. He wasn't even a citizen.
And ask yourself, I mean, if you were an employer, would you willingly pay somebody your standard salary at your job, $12 an hour? Or would you want to pay somebody to do the exact same work for, say, $5-6 an hour?
Yeah. And I'm not
even
saying
less.
that just because you cross the border, it makes you an immoral person or a bad person. A lot of them do commit insanely high amounts of crime, right? They do commit proportionally more
By
crime.
definition, by crossing the border without coming in, it definitely makes you a criminal by just crossing the border.
I mean,
yeah.
And the problem is so apparent, right? I am friends with a lot of Hispanic people out here, and
I am too.
And every single one of them voted Trump. You know why?
Yeah,
because exactly what you guys just explained. Because they were like, fuck this. They're like, my family had to come here legally. They waited almost half a decade for them to get in here legally. So do you motherfuckers. You guys that are coming in here legally, fuck off. Hispanics are tired of illegal Hispanics, for fuck's sakes.
I've said several times I live in the hood, but the hood here in Oklahoma is basically, because we're so close to Texas, is basically little Mexico.
Yeah.
And so there's actually, in my neighborhood, several Trump signs, or there were. They're actually most of them around here are actually voting for Trump or voted for Trump simply because of that reason. I've actually talked to my neighbor, and one of the reasons that they wanted, one of the many only reasons that they wanted Trump was the fact of the deportation and illegal immigration.
Yeah, and not to mention,
it puts a bad light on them.
Yeah,
they are looked down upon based on the fact of the illegal immigrants.
Exactly,
and they don't like it.
Right. I have major contractors that I got to deal with that I have to do estimates for, and a lot of these guys are Hispanic, and they've come to me and they're like, Andrew, like this guy needs to get in there. I'm like, why, dude? I'm like, I thought you would be more of like kind of like the Hillary supporter. He said, yeah, her current stance with us would be great, hadn't it not been for Obama giving us a similar situation than bailing out on it. He's all, I don't want that shit. He's all, I want to be able to have my family over here legally. They said, I'm tired of having to pay inflated prices for everything for my family in order for my family to come over here. Trump, and he was one of the few people to bring this up. No one else really brought this up, and he did. He's all, Trump has promised to speed up the immigration process for my family. That's what he
hates Mexicans so much. He's going to make it faster for him to get into the country legally.
Yeah, exactly. He said, let's speed that process up and get these families over here. Nobody, even the media, nobody covered that. Everybody immediately assumed he was just some racist bigot, had no fucking idea what he was talking about. Even though
everybody was too focused on the wall that they forgot that there's a big door in the middle of it.
Yep.
Yeah, he actually even said that he don't mind the door. He said he just actually wants the illegal immigration to stop and actually have people go through a process to get over here legally the way they should. That way they can properly vet them. They can actually make sure that they are here for positive reasons, and more power to you. Just enjoy your stay here in America. But they've never covered, not a single mainstream media has actually covered the door.
No, and you know what's funny about that is he over exemplified the door on purpose, just to see if they would, and he was right. They didn't. He said it's gonna be a beautiful door. It's gonna be a big door. It's gonna be a door that everybody can love.
Yeah, he actually went on several I would say probably a minute or two tirade of what type of door this thing would be.
Yeah,
It was actually
yeah.
very, very emphasized that there would be a door.
Yeah.
But somehow the media just like skip past that whole part of it and build a wall. We want to keep them out. And what I can't understand is that Hillary Clinton actually had the exact same damn stance, but hers didn't include a door.
Nope. Nope.
That's
She actually
why
wanted
all
to
these
build
people-
a border.
all these people who vote Democrat just because you have to ask them why. I mean, 15% of black males voted for Trump and 10% of black females did.
There was actually a video apparently back in during this campaign trail, and it was regarding, they were talking about Black Lives Matter. Apparently, the excerpt that was actually shown on Facebook or whatever, the black man was talking to her, and she was, they were having a conversation. Apparently, they weren't in agreement on what was actually being said, and he was like, I have to. He was very adamant. I respectfully, have to disagree with you. And she's like, well, if you are, if you do that, she's like, that's fine, but I will respectfully just talk to the white people only. And somebody said, I showed them that video, and they were like, do you really believe that she would say that about black people standing right there in front of a black man? I said,
She did.
you actually see that right
You
there.
watched it.
It's her damn voice.
It
her
does
damn,
not
it's
require
her.
belief. In
Yeah.
fact,
I'm like going, how do you just, you see proof, and then you just dismiss it as if it's like some kind of figment of your imagination. But yet all the stuff that they were saying about Trump was all a figment of their imagination. It was all.
I see that. I saw that at my work a lot today. One of my managers going around. He said, "Oh, they're sending us back to Africa. He talked to someone else who was like, oh, you better. It was nice having you here. It's nice seeing you here, but we all got to go back now." I was like, you have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about.
They don't. It's the media. They kept on talking about Trump. The media always talking about Trump being a hate monger and a fear monger and stuff. It was the media.
Yeah, they were.
The media has caused this insatiable hate and fear amongst the people that they don't even know what's real anymore. I mean, they generally believe that he actually wants to send anybody who's not white back.
Yeah, people actually believe that, and there's no basis at all for this. But somebody hears, some people hear, "Oh, Trump's a racist," and they just believe it. They just believe it. They never check. They never look. Nothing.
Yeah, he even addressed the whole fucking what was it? The police crime, the police brutality shit. He addressed
it needs
that.
to be fixed.
He said it was awful.
He said it
That's
was
a
fucking
problem.
terrible, and these guys are like, "Oh, he didn't say anything about it." I'm like, motherfucker, just because you don't
Yes, he
like him
clearly did.
doesn't mean you don't have to fucking research him. Jesus.
Oh, there was
Christ.
an article. Apparently, Huffington Post. This was a Huffington Post. I know that.
Yeah.
That somebody actually posted and said, as like one of Trump's things is he wants to get rid of porn. That was like the name of the title, the name of the article. And so everybody was talking, and we were like, surely God, you don't believe this. This is actually just clickbait bullshit or whatever. You don't believe it. And they were like, somebody actually came in. It was actually the very first article was through Salon, and then somebody actually came in and posted a Huffington Post article saying the exact same thing. He said, "Oh no, it's true." And so I clicked on the article, like, you know what, normal people should, read it, and the actual article was talking about how he signed a thing, a pledge, I guess, with this group, this organization. I forgot, it's some kind of anti-porn organization or whatever, but that he would actually help fight the be a little bit harsher, be a little bit more proactive on fighting child pornography. And it said in the article, it actually says, but they also want to end pornography, and he did say that it wasn't part of the pledge now, mind you. But he did say that he would actually appoint somebody to take a look to see, what type of effects porn has on young teens and the American family.
Yeah.
And that's all. Nothing about ending porn. Nothing about anything like that. I said, do y'all actually read articles? I mean, is that like something that y'all is like a foreign concept to y'all, or do y'all actually just read the title and say, I already know what's going on? And they were like, "Oh no, I read it. It says that he wants." Like, no, it doesn't. It didn't say anything about him ending porn. Like, how these people, like, it scares me that these people were allowed to vote. There should be some sort of test, some sort of litmus test or whatever that actually gives people the right to vote. You should not just be guaranteed that right. Because there's some stupid ass people in this damn world, and they don't need to decide who's going to rule the country.
I actually agree, bro. I agree.
I don't know if I agree, because that's because then we get into the issue.
It can definitely be skewed. That's a problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, because then we get into the issue of who decides who's voting.
Right, and what the rules are for the test and everything. I understand that, but there's got to be some way to keep people that are so out of touch with reality and so, I mean, dare I say, just fucking stupid, from being able to control the fate of others. It bothers me that these people are actually capable of actually deciding our fate. They might actually be on a damn jury duty one day.
That's why
that's scary. What if you get 12 of them? What if you get 12 of them people?
What if you get 12 of them? What if you get 12 at the same time?
Yeah, you're dead. I mean, you might as well kill yourself before the damn thing ever even ends, even if you have a traffic ticket.
You'd have to be brought to court. They'd have to actually find you able to be brought to court, and then after they bring you to court, if that was the case, then the lawyers wouldn't approve of all the jury members.
I would hope so. I would hope.
I would 30,000 fail safes for this.
Well, I would hope so, because it just, I don't know. It scares me that these people are actually they actually make me rethink my stance on abortion. I mean, it really does.
Okay, so Mr. Nuclear, let's go on to more funnier things. Nuclear says, "Yo, Brim, a wise old man once told me to do every drug I can, fuck bitches every day, and what should I do? I say listen to the wise man. Take all the drugs that you want. Have as much sex as you want. But please pull out. Like, please. I beg of you."
That's right. Condoms are for pussies. Oh, remember lube up. Always lube up. Especially going to the back. Especially if you were having anal sex with Chelsea.
Oh, Angry Joe.
Oh, God.
Oh God! I heard his stream was cancer. I heard his stream was cancer.
I respect him as a gamer, dude. I respect him as a gamer. But
I don't. I'm done with him.
His gamer shit, I respect him for, but his political shit is retarded. He is so fucking dumb.
Well, I'm done. Actually, I unfollowed him. I unsubscribed to him after
because he basically political shit. You did that.
Well, he said basically everybody that was Trump supporters were, he didn't say basically, I mean, he actually did say the people who voted for Trump are uneducated, white people.
Didn't you guys just get done saying that people that do that over politics are bad?
No, there's one thing to actually, I would never vote, just like I even told him in the tweet whenever I left, is that I would never have done anything or thought anything if he just said, "Hey, look, I voted for Hillary." Okay. Big deal.
It's true. There's a difference between having a different political opinion and calling people terrible, demonizing people for
having the difference of it. I didn't demonize him. I didn't say that whatever. I just basically said, dude, you basically just called me a racist. You called me an uneducated racist, homophobic. All these different things. I mean, he had a Twitter video that or I guess a portion of a stream that was actually uploaded to Twitter. And this is all that was on it. And I'm like, you basically just alienated me from, just basically calling me not less than a human, right, as far as a human goes. And you expect me to actually respect that and move on just like nothing ever happened? No. Now, if he just said I voted for Hillary and, just like Boogie Nut 2988, he said he voted for Jill Stein. He actually even did a... He actually even did a vote.
At least he said it though. I respect.
He actually did a vote for his followers, to figure out where everybody kind of stood, and it seemed like to be about middle of the road. I didn't vote. I voted for Trump and I voted for Hillary, all receiving around 30%. And he was actually saying, you know what? I didn't vote for either party. He said, it is what it is. Trump is our president. I will respect that, and I will. Do everything I can as far as my position to be as open-minded and as willing to accept him as possible.
Yeah.
Good.
So that right there, he didn't demonize. He has a different opinion, a different viewpoint, different opinion than me. I'm perfectly fine with that. He didn't demonize me for the way I think, and so therefore that right there is the difference between him and Angry Joe, and that's the reason why I did that with Angry Joe.
Angry Joe was salty as fuck.
Yeah. Well, just like y'all know who Lacey Green is, right?
Oh
Yes,
God, I don't
yes.
don't even.
Yes.
Lacey Green.
Did you see her? Did you see her tweet?
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
I already-
Before
I already-
the election, she was all nice and
Yeah.
smiley, and we're all gonna come together and unite. And then the fucking election came out, and Trump wins, and she exploded. Misogynist, racist,
Fascist,
white,
and-
homophobe, fascist. Because I've heard that word once before. Ugh.
And
Oh yeah,
so-
now it's fascism.
typical-
Now
so-
you guys know that. You guys see that
Oh,
most
yeah,
common
it's
thing. It's all
fascism.
fascism now. I'm like, okay, retards.
I don't think people understand the definition of fascism.
I don't think they do either.
Nope, they
It's
don't.
just it's like they had a word of the day calendar, and that came up, and they're like, oh, that's gonna be good. I can use that.
I
Like,
mean,
these people are-
fascism is well, here, what does Google say? Google says that fascism is an authoritarian and nationalistic right-wing system of government and social organization. Okay, well, one, Trump's not an authoritarian, and he's nationalistic, sure, but he is the president, and he should be. Right-wing system of government, Trump's a centrist.
Yeah, definitely not right
System
wing.
of government and social organization. What is fascist about the social organization of the country? While you think about that, we're going to finish the podcast.
Ah.
Okay.
Well, guys, it's been over an hour. It's been nothing but political stuff. And frankly, after election day, I'm done with political stuff.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
done,
go
it's
for
over.
now.
We can go back to being smug.
All right. So,
Well, yeah, no, I
I'll-
actually-
I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah,
Well,
all right.
Speaking of gaming or whatever, somebody actually posted in one of the groups that I'm in that somehow the Dishonored 2 date has actually been pushed up. Is that correct? Has anybody heard that? Or I mean, I didn't
I
check
don't
in on
know.
it. I was
I'm just aware of the game, not really any of the news surrounding it.
okay. I didn't know if maybe something came out that I didn't hear. Or, somewhere that I didn't think it was kind of weird to me that the game would actually be pushed up rather than pushed out.
Yeah. That is awkward.
Especially in today's gaming world.
No, but I am glad this stuff's over with finally.
Oh, me too. I'm actually glad it's over with and glad that we can actually start.
Focus on games
Hopefully,
again and games
that
with one
and-
another.
Maybe the world can actually start moving on.
Maybe we can
um,
remember what it's like to actually hang with each other again. Maybe it's time to like finally be like, hey, remember we used to do this together? Let's do that again. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people's forgotten it again, and it's like the whole console thing, like what we're gaming. What you and I were talking about last podcast, Rambo. It's the same thing with politics. You get so wrapped up in it, you forget a lot of things that gave you that connection to humanity a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, in all fairness, with this election though, and this the whole process that we've all endured this time, this has actually been one of the times where it's kind of understandable because this was actually like a really big turning point in American politics, and so that's the reason why I think that maybe I understood a little bit more of the reason why we got to where we were, but hopefully now, like you said, we can get back to like where we were. Where we all actually have a common ground, like where we all were in the beginning.
Yeah.
Playing, chilling, having a good time, talking games whenever we actually have a podcast. It was all just like the way it was supposed to be. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get back to that.
Yeah, I really do. I hope it's high time to put this shit behind us. Colbert made a good point. Put away your fucking "I voted today" stickers. Take off your political hats. It's
I already bought a "Made America Great Again."
I
it's on the way.
I want one of those, man.
I
are they
definitely
still
want
for sale?
I'm
I
just
bought it from
saying.
the Trump site.
I
So.
just
I'm gonna
saying.
have to go there and
It's time. It's time to like start enjoying life again. Stop being
It really is.
political all the time. You know what I mean? It's like we always bash people for being Mr. Political or Mrs. Political. It's time we start taking our own medicine now. Stop being political all the time and just trying to have fun.
Oh yeah.
I will
I
say
mean-
this: that was one of the most nervous nights of my life.
Oh yeah, it was. My wife was watching it like constantly, and I was I was just playing Destiny with it, you know, in the background. I was like, "Well, please just let me just try to my best to
It's like I voted, I did all I could do.
focus on, focus on the game rather than that." And I kept finding myself being
Bro,
kicked from
my
matches because
mind-
I was not
my
playing.
mind, dude. I was playing Battlefield with Shane, and my mind just kept going right back to the fucking maps, back and forth, back and forth. And in fact, there was a point where like me and Rags were like screaming because we heard like Arizona went blue for a minute. We're like, oh my god, no.
When Pennsylvania went Trump, we were just like, it's over. It's over. We were sitting there most of the night waiting for it to go from like 264 over 270. So
Yeah. Well, there was that
Lovely
one
gentleman.
point where he was at like, what was it? It was like 230 something, and she was at like 216, and I was like, oh god, I'm like, this
yeah,
is too
it was
close.
like
Too
it was like
close.
214 to 244, I think, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And then boop, he got the 260s from Pennsylvania, and we're like, it's over.
It was
Steven-
crazy.
Steven Crowder. Trump won. Oh, he's gonna have a lot of gold after this. Sargon's already done a media video about how everyone's reacting. It's gonna be gold the next few days. Trump won because racism. No, you idiot. And of course, it's about Cenk Uygur. So we're gonna take a little look see at that later.
Oh,
We
well,
watched
that was
David
actually
Dobrik.
it was actually kind of funny that what's it called? Sargon tweeted out talking about he's been watching the Young Turks or whatever during this, and I was like, well, I didn't even think about that because I was doing
Oh, they're
that in the
fucking
background.
salty.
that in the background, playing Destiny on my other screen. I had my PC up, and I thought, well, I'll go click on the Young Turks channel and see what. Oh my gosh,
Fucking salty as
It was-
shite.
it was fucking priceless. They were just like they looked like
Like
everybody just got like the world had just came to an end, and they were the only ones left. I mean, they were just their look on their face was like, dear God.
Yo,
It was so priceless.
police are apprehending right now. I'm watching the live stream for the shutdown of the 101 in Los Angeles.
Or the
And,
riots, or
yeah, dude, there's cops everywhere. They've got an entire bus ready for these guys. I seen them
Good.
walking. They're walking a bunch of these kids to the cars, throwing. They're not throwing in there. They're just putting them in their vehicles. That's good. That's good. I'm glad things.
In
haven't
Oakland-
escalated
Yeah,
too
man.
far.
in
Protest
Oakland.
what you
Well, in
want.
Oakland, they
Don't
actually
stuff.
burned down, burned some stuff down, flipped over fire trucks, ambulances, police cars.
Why won't they respect us?
Yeah. And then that's the next thing. It's just insane. And somebody's like, I would have hated to have seen what would happen if Hillary would have won. I said nothing would have happened.
Same thing that happened when Obama won.
I said we all of us that voted for Trump basically had the same fears that everybody that voted for Hillary had back when Obama took office.
And I went to work and I didn't get
nothing
in anyone's
happened.
faces. I didn't. I
We
just.
just-
I
we
when
just went
people
back-
talked about it. I told them who I voted for and
Life
why
is normal.
and what issues were important for me. And I didn't. And I told people, don't worry about it. Even if you didn't like them, enjoy your tax cut.
Yeah, I mean it was just normal
Someone
every
was
day.
like,
I make
"Oh,
sure.
that'll help me." It's like exactly. Look on the
But
bright
now,
side.
like these people, like safe spaces, literally created these protests / riots, because they're not capable of understanding a differing opinion.
I'm really starting to believe that most Democrats don't even understand what a safe space is. Because
Oh, it's
I've-
a fringe. It's a fringe thing.
It's
It really
definitely a
is.
fringe thing, yeah. Because like I said, I talked to my friend at work today, and he's got a master's in political science, and I shut him down today. I'm gonna brag about that in stream. I bragged about it before stream. Yes, I shut down a motherfucker with a master's in political science. So
Let's be fair, Brim. Like that means anything.
yeah.
Like a master's in political science. It's
But,
like I was
like,
the toughest kid in third grade.
I brought
Good
up
for you.
I brought up safe spaces, and he was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah,
I was-
exactly.
I'm like, I'll be damned. I'm like, that's one thing you don't know. I said, you don't know about the safe spaces? I'm like, and I explained it to him, and then I asked him, are you for that? He's all, what are these kids, pussies? And I'm like, oh, you just redeemed yourself in my eyes. And he's a
Like they didn't
Democrat.
have that shit when I went to college.
He's a
Like, get
liberal.
him
He is
straight.
a liberal Democrat, and he said that. I was like, oh, You restored my faith in humanity sometimes.
You know, there's what's really the distinction between a classical liberal and a social libertarian?
What?
Oh, I don't know. I'm asking.
You said what's the
I-
difference?
Yeah,
A classical liberal?
classical liberal and a cultural libertarian. Because
Cultural
they probably
liberal.
overlap. They probably overlap on a lot of things.
Yeah. I was gonna say the differences I could see it maybe is they would. I want to say center right with a dab of left.
Who knows? Oh well.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, go around and just gonna go around and Putin reacts to Trump victory as he speaks at ceremony. Yeah, I was really.
Oh.
I mean,
There was another thing that somebody said on the news or on CNN. I was watching that today because it was kind of funny. But they were saying that Putin's like congratulatory thing for Trump proves that they have something going on. And I'm like, because he said,
congratulations, you won. Ha! That proves it.
yeah, they're more buddy, but now that just shows that they're more buddy than what they were letting on.
That's
I'm like,
good.
no,
That's
it
fine.
don't. It,
Either
well,
way,
I mean,
it's
it doesn't
fine.
though. I mean, but
No,
I
it
mean, what's the
doesn't.
problem? What's the problem with actually being friends with Russia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he even said my friend in the video. I watched it. Yeah, you know what? Good.
Yeah,
You know what? If
But-
there was something behind it,
Minya drug.
like where was I want to say this, Rambo, because I brought this up to my buddy too. If this was all Russia's fault, then was it Russia's fault when Assange did the same shit back on the RNC back when Obama first got in?
Well, on one side of the
Exactly.
the Democrats' mouth, they were saying Russia's rigging it, and out of the other side, they're saying the election couldn't be rigged. Come on, Trump. So you
Yeah.
have to pick one here.
well, that was another
Exactly.
thing. That was another thing. She came out and said that her camp came out and said that if he doesn't concede, our democratic process, all this stuff, and then she didn't even have the gall to actually show up to her supporters.
Yeah, she
Like,
didn't
and
even
actually-
show up. And I guess she went right to bed.
Yeah,
She's
no,
like-
actually, she
She
on
called and
CNN
then
today.
went to sleep.
On CNN today, she said this guy from the Washington Post, which we all know is a liberal news media, which is no big deal, whatever.
Washington Compost, yeah.
He actually said that he actually spoke with a woman that I guess a friend of, they're all friends, I guess, somehow or whatever. But he spoke with this woman that was actually consoling her over the course of that night, and they said that she was sobbing uncontrollably. She said you could barely make out to anything that what she said, but he said that once she started calming down, she actually blamed Comey and Obama. And she blamed Comey for obviously, the obvious reasons, and Obama for not actually using his presidency to actually stop Comey from investigating her.
Wow. Well, that just shows that we made the right choice.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. I mean, like, oh,
Yeah, see, I didn't
people-
know that either. My buddy, he brought up the whole Comey thing too. He's like, I thought that was a little weird, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he brought, in fact, that very thing up that you just talked about. That is weird. That's very strange because Comey was against her, and then he sort of dropped out and said, oh well, we're not going to do it. It's like, what? What the hell?
Yeah.
It's either against federal law or isn't it? All I know is if it was a soldier, they would have been treated like fucking traitors and then shot. If we're
They probably would have been killed, court-martialed and killed.
Exactly, and that's not right. But because it's Hillary, why? Well, I don't even want to get into that. That's just a whole nother mess. Anyways,
yeah,
we don't
that's-
have to deal with that shit anymore. That's no longer.
No,
with
we're
us.
actually, I guess, free of politics. I mean, unless something just major happens, like within some sort of law that is passed
Oh,
or whatever, it affects
there's-
us all. But
There is one thing. The mass amount of assassination threats on Twitter. Have you guys seen that yet?
oh yes, it's
Dude, my own aunt is on my Facebook saying that shit, and she's a retard. My aunt's a retard. So I told her, I'm like, you can't be posting this on Facebook.
That's
I said,
illegal.
It is
You can't threaten
illegal.
to kill someone, and if it's the president, they will show up at your door.
Exactly.
was actually-
After they get to everyone else, of course. So
there was actually a star, like a person that's verified. I say that's a star, but I mean I don't
It
know
doesn't-
if that actually
doesn't-
classifies as being popular or not. But actually saying that he will gladly pay any price that the person wants in order to kill Trump. I just posted. I mean, just like
Yeah,
flat out, just no big deal. Like, huh?
no
And I'm like
biggie.
going, how is this actually even happening? Like, how are we? How is it not? You know, people are not like doing something about this. Hopefully, the government is going to do something about this. Because whether it be somebody threatening to kill Hillary, somebody threatening to kill whoever it would be, it needs to be dealt with. There's
Yep.
laws for that.
Absolutely. Yep. I just thought. I mean, I just couldn't believe it, man. Like as soon it was right after he was announced. It was like immediately just flooding. Oh, we should. And this was going through Tumblr and Instagram as well. You know, I really don't want anything to happen to him. I want things to go right. And if our only shot at finally cleaning out that White House gets thrown by some fucking retard with a rifle, well, kiss your Second and First Amendment rights goodbye.
Oh yeah.
That's what's going to happen next, and then
Then
war.
you're gonna have
and then
President
war will
Pence.
come. Yeah, a war will come, and that's not good.
I don't think a war is gonna break out if he's assassinated. No,
You don't think people will rise up on that, dude?
I don't think we're gonna have a civil war. No, it's ridiculous.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of points that came through here that during this election I thought for sure war was inevitable, dude, because of so many things that were going on. People that, you know, they were being called racist when they aren't. Continuously having that thrown in their face every single day. You know, good working families being fucking judged by who they supported. I mean,
that's not enough for people to go out and kill and people in a violent revolution.
I don't know, man. Some people can only take so much.
You do
though.
now because it didn't happen. But people revolt when they can't eat, not when some people said mean things about the way I voted.
It's not even about saying mean things, dude. It's about
Exactly,
continuously. It's about continuously being harassed and bombarded.
Verbal abuse is not going to get people in a violent revolution against the government. Not in a first world country.
Well, you better look at the
People
retards
have-
that are taking place right now because of Trump being elected.
Who are not violently rising up against the government.
So we're saying that burning down buildings isn't violent. That's pretty violent.
How many buildings?
I haven't counted them in Oakland yet.
Across the country, maybe the destabilization of the entire economy, violent revolution against the government, or just some angry protests.
Angry protest is what I was referring to.
Was the Black Lives Matter protest, even as bad as they got, was that violent revolution against the government?
It was on the border, man. It was on the border. It was teetering. It was teetering there for a minute. It got to a point where they were arming their own dudes.
Sure.
I mean, you can say what you want. That's fine. I'm just saying, people can only take so much, is what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, hate speech or whatever you want to call it, you would think that it wouldn't be enough, but some people it would be. Some people would just look at that and be like, "Yo, I didn't do anything
maybe
wrong. Why the
tiny
fuck are you
little
going after me?"
things.
You know. I don't know. I'm just saying. There's people that that got a lot out of this fucking thing that probably shouldn't have, but whatever. All right, so we're coming up on the hour and a half mark. Holy fuck. But yes, Trump 2016, people. It's going to be a great 4 years, hopefully. I hope everything is good. I hope everything works out great. That's all I care about. And I hope he's able to do at least a third of what he's promised. Hell, doing a third would be great.
Just doing those 5 things would be titanic and colossal.
Oh yeah.
All we got to do is get Congress to vote against themselves. That shouldn't be an issue.
Yep.
Let's see. All right.
All right, so we'll go ahead or I'm going to go ahead and talk to them one-on-one for a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and end it. So where's my Discord so I can mute my stuff? Here we go. Hey guys, it's just me right now. I just want to say thank you guys so much for this year, this whole time. growing this channel. You guys have been giving me a lot of support lately, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for dealing with the shenanigans of the political stuff that we've all talked about in these past podcasts. Thanks for fucking dealing with all the bullshittery that we put you guys through sometimes. And as of these podcasts, we do try to clean it up as of recently, because we've noticed that it was getting a little out of hand. So I hope you guys appreciate that as well. Fuck you, Round Eye. I really do appreciate it, and these guys do too. We've come a long ways, you guys. We've done a lot. We've done some great things here. I know some of them you guys are questioning, like, what the hell's wrong with you guys with these videos? But like I said, we're cleaning it up. We're trying our best here. Oh yeah, and one more thing, you guys. As of this week, Monday will no longer be a podcast, so it'll only be Wednesdays and Fridays, because we chopped it down a day because we start to run out of things to talk about. So that is a thing now. So one less day, not a whole lot of shit. You know what I mean? Just one less day. It's going to be room for more content and possibly even more segments. Thanks a lot, you guys. I really appreciate it. But anyways, I want to go ahead and get off of here. You guys have a great night. You guys, please watch that Colbert video. It really sets a tone for how I believe when it comes to us in general. I don't believe we should ever have to judge one another based on political differences, religious stances, or anything like that. I believe that we have the right to believe in everything that we want to believe in without judging or hurting other American citizens. And that's something that, to me, that is extremely important. And that's something, as a YouTuber, that I hold as a value to myself. You guys have a great night. Fucking rock on, Trump 2016, baby! Love you guys. Peace out.